You ever stumble across something so raw, so personal, it feels like you're peeking into someone's soul? That's what this is. I'm not proud of everything I've done, but I'm not ashamed either. My name's Ethan, and this is the story of how I got even with Lauren. It's not pretty, but it's mine, and I'm laying it bare because I need to get it off my chest. My revenge was a long plan, and I started small. Time was on my side. I didn't rush, I just waited for the moment when she'd feel everything she'd done come back to haunt her. It started 3 years ago at a community college in Portland, Oregon. I was 25, working part-time at a coffee shop while taking business classes. Lauren was in my marketing group project. She was magnetic blonde hair, sharp green eyes, and a laugh that could pull you in like a riptide. She had this way of making you feel like you were the only person in the room, even when she was juggling a dozen conversations. I fell for her, hard. Not love, not at first, but that kind of obsessive crush that makes you check your phone every 5 seconds. We started hanging out, texting late into the night, sharing dumb memes and dreams about escaping our small lives. Then came the group project presentation. We'd worked weeks on it, and I'd poured my heart into it, staying up late to perfect the slides. Lauren was supposed to present with me, but the day before, she texted me, "Ethan, I'm so sorry, family emergency. Can you handle it?" I trusted her. I covered for her, stammered through the presentation alone, and we still got an A. But when I saw her at a bar that night, laughing with some guy, no trace of distress, I felt my stomach twist. She lied. It wasn't a big lie, but it was the first crack in the facade. Over the next few months, the cracks grew. She'd borrow money, $20 here, $50 there, always with a promise to pay me back. She never did. She'd flake on plans, leave me waiting at restaurants, then charm her way back with an apology and a smile. I was a fool, eating it up, thinking she cared. Then came the real gut punch. I found out she'd been spreading rumors about me to our classmates, calling me clingy, obsessive, a loser who couldn't take a hint. She'd used my work, my time, my trust, and then trashed me behind my back to make herself look better. I confronted her at a campus coffee shop. Her eyes went cold, like I was nothing. "Ethan, you're overreacting," she said, flipping her hair. "Maybe you should chill." That was it. No apology, no remorse. Just a smirk. That's when I knew. I wasn't going to let her walk away unscathed. I wasn't going to yell or fight. I was going to make her feel the weight of what she'd done, piece by piece. But how do you destroy someone who doesn't care? I'd figure it out. I had time. I'm not a vengeful guy by nature. Growing up in a small Oregon town, I was the kid who helped neighbors shovel snow, not the one plotting takedowns. But Lauren flipped a switch in me. Her betrayal wasn't just personal, it was calculated, like she enjoyed watching me squirm. I couldn't let it go. So, I started small, like planting a seed I knew would grow into something she couldn't ignore. First, I needed to understand her. Lauren was all about image. Her Instagram was a curated shrine to her perfect life, yoga poses at sunrise, lattes with heart-shaped foam, captions about living your truth. She craved attention, validation. That was her weakness. I created a fake account, just a generic name Jake with a stock photo of some guy hiking. I followed her, liked her posts, nothing creepy, just enough to blend into her orbit. She followed back within a week. Predictable. I spent months watching, not just her posts but her patterns. She was always at the same trendy spots, cafes, boutiques, a yoga studio called Serenity Now. She'd tag her location, post stories with her friends, and I started piecing together her world. She worked part-time at a boutique called Urban Bloom, selling overpriced candles and scarves. She was dating a new guy, Derek, some finance bro who drove a BMW and posted about crypto. Her life was a performance, and I was learning the script. My first move was subtle. She'd bragged online about a promotion at Urban Bloom assistant manager. I knew the owner, Mia, from my coffee shop job. She'd come in for lattes and tip well. One day, I casually mentioned to Mia that I'd heard some weird stuff about Lauren's work ethic, nothing specific, just enough to plant doubt. I felt a twinge of guilt, but then I remembered Lauren's smirk. Mia nodded, her brow furrowing. "Thanks for the heads up, Ethan," she said. I didn't know if anything would come of it, but it was a start. I also started messing with her online. I'd comment on her posts from my fake account, nothing mean, just off. Like, "Wow, that latte art is cool, but isn't that cafe overrated?" Or, "Love your outfit, but I saw the same one at Target for $10. Tiny jabs, the kind that'd make her second guess her perfection. She'd respond with emojis, trying to play it cool, but I could tell it bugged her. Her replies got shorter, snippier. I wasn't in a hurry. Revenge isn't about speed, it's about precision. I'd wait for the right moment to escalate, when she was vulnerable. Then I got my chance. She posted about a big event she was organizing at Urban Bloom, a pop-up market with local vendors. It was her baby, her chance to shine. I knew exactly how to make it unravel. But I'd need help, and I wasn't sure who I could trust. I'm not gonna lie, planning revenge is a weird headspace. You're balancing this burning need for justice with the fear you're becoming the bad guy. But every time I doubted myself, I'd picture Lauren's face, that dismissive flick of her hair, and I'd keep going. By now, I'd been laying the groundwork for 6 months, and it was time to turn up the heat. The pop-up market was Lauren's big moment. She'd been posting about it non-stop, flyers, vendor lists, even a hashtag Bloom Pop-Up. It was set for a Saturday at a community center, with food trucks, artisans, and live music. She was calling it her vision, like she'd invented farmers markets. I saw my opening. If this event flopped, it'd hit her where it hurt, her ego. I didn't want to sabotage it outright, that'd be too obvious. Instead, I focused on chaos. I reached out to a guy I knew from college, Tyler, who ran a small catering business. Tyler was a good dude, always down for a laugh, and he owed me a favor after I'd helped him with a class project. I told him I needed a prank for someone who'd screwed me over. No details, just enough to get him on board. He agreed to help, no questions asked. The plan was simple but messy. Tyler's catering van would accidentally double book and pull out of the pop-up at the last minute. I knew Lauren had hyped up his gourmet tacos as a highlight. Without them, she'd scramble. I also found a local band on the lineup, a trio called the Rusty Chords, and messaged them anonymously, saying the event was underfunded and might not pay. They didn't cancel, but they started asking Lauren questions, stirring up drama. Then I went for the vendors. Using my fake account, I sent messages to a few, posing as a concerned customer. "Heard the pop-up might not have permits," I wrote. "Hope it's legit." Most ignored me, but one, a jewelry maker, posted about it, tagging Lauren and asking for clarification. Lauren's replies were frantic, assuring everyone it was fine. I could feel her stress through the screen. The day of the pop-up, I showed up, blending into the crowd. The event was shaky. Tyler's van didn't show, the band was late, and vendors were whispering about permits. Lauren was running around, her smile forced, her hair not quite perfect. I felt a rush, but it wasn't enough. I wanted her to know it was me, eventually. But not yet. As I left, I overheard her arguing with Derek, her voice cracking. Something was breaking in her, and I wasn't done. You ever feel like you're watching yourself from the outside, wondering how you got so deep into something? That was me, a year into this. The pop-up flop hit Lauren hard. Her posts after the event were all damage control, blaming unreliable vendors, and miscommunications. Her followers ate it up, but I knew she was rattled. Her perfect image was cracking, and I was ready to pry it open. I started digging deeper into her life. Lauren had moved on from Urban Bloom after the pop-up disaster. Mia had demoted her, and she quit in a huff. Now she was working at a startup, some eco-friendly clothing brand called Greenthread. She was their social media manager, posting about sustainable fashion and ethical vibes. It was perfect. Her job depended on her online presence, and I knew how to weaponize that. I got bolder with my fake account. I'd comment on Greenthread's posts, questioning their sustainability, with just enough truth to sting. Like, love the mission, but aren't your fabrics sourced from overseas factories? I'd researched enough to know their supply chain was shaky. Lauren would respond, all professional, but I could tell she was fuming. I also started reporting her personal posts for dumb stuff, copyrighted music, vague community guideline violations. Nothing stuck, but it kept her on edge, checking her notifications constantly. Then I found Derek's weak spot. He was all about his crypto hustle, bragging about moonshot investments. I created another account, this time posing as a crypto bro named Ryan. I slid into his DMs, feeding his ego, asking for tips. Over weeks, I got him to open up about a shady deal he was pushing, an exclusive token sale. I didn't care about the details, I just needed leverage. I anonymously tipped off a local finance blogger, hinting at Derek's sketchy dealings. The blogger ran with it, posting a vague exposé that didn't name him but spooked him enough to start fights with Lauren. I saw it in her posts, fewer couple pics, more solo shots with forced smiles. I was chipping away at her world, but I wanted her to feel me closing in. One night, I sent her a message from my real account, just a single line, "Karma's patient, Lauren." She didn't reply, but she blocked me. That was fine. I was in her head now. But something else was brewing. Tyler called me, saying he'd heard Lauren was asking around about me. She was suspicious. I had to be careful. By now, I was in deep. 2 years had passed since Lauren's betrayal, and I'd turned revenge into a hobby. It wasn't just about her anymore, it was about proving I could outsmart her, that I wasn't the loser she'd painted me as. But it was also eating at me. I'd lie awake, replaying every move, wondering if I'd gone too far. Then I'd remember her lies, her smirk, and I'd double down. Lauren was fraying. Greenthread fired her after their social media engagement tanked, partly my doing, partly her slipping up under pressure. She was back at Urban Bloom, working the register, a humiliating step down. Her posts were less frequent, her captions less bubbly. Derek was out of the picture. I'd heard through mutual friends they'd split after his crypto deal imploded. My blogger tip hadn't named him, but the scrutiny was enough to tank his confidence, and their relationship with it. I decided to escalate. I knew Lauren was planning a big birthday party, her 27th, a chance to reclaim her shine. She'd rented a rooftop bar, invited half the city, and was hyping it up online. I saw my chance to hit her where it hurt, her social status. I reached out to Tyler again, who knew the bar's manager, Nate. I spun a story about Lauren being difficult to work with, hinting she might stiff the venue. Nate didn't cancel, but he demanded a bigger deposit, which Lauren scrambled to pay. Then I went for the guest list. Using my Jake account, I messaged a few of her friends, sowing seeds of doubt. "Heard Lauren's been talking trash about you," I'd write, vague enough to sound plausible. Most ignored me, but a few didn't show up to the party. I also paid a guy $50 to accidentally spill a drink on her during the night. Petty? Sure. But I wanted her to feel like the universe was against her. The party was a bust. I wasn't there, but Tyler went and filled me in. Lauren spent half the night arguing with the staff, her dress stained, her friends bailing early. She posted one photo, her smile strained, and then went quiet online for days. I felt a surge of triumph, but it was bittersweet. I was winning, but at what cost? Then I got a text from an unknown number. "I know it's you, Ethan." Stop. My heart stopped. She was on to me. I stared at that text for hours. "I know it's you, Ethan." Stop. It was Lauren, no question. She'd figured it out or at least suspected. I didn't respond. What could I say? I wasn't ready to end this, not when I was so close to making her feel the full weight of her actions. But I had to be smarter now. She was watching me, just like I'd been watching her. I took a step back, went quiet for a month. No fake accounts, no messages, just silence. I needed her to think she'd scared me off, to let her guard down. Meanwhile, I dug into her life again, this time through mutual acquaintances. I ran into Mia from Urban Bloom at the coffee shop and casually asked about Lauren. Mia rolled her eyes. She's a mess, she said. Always late, always drama. I nodded, playing sympathetic, but inside I was grinning. My work was paying off. Lauren started posting again, trying to rebuild her image. She was pitching herself as a freelance influencer, taking sponsored posts for random skincare brands. It was pathetic, but she was clawing her way back. I couldn't let that happen. I decided to hit her where it had hurt most, her credibility. I created a blog, anonymous, called Portland Truth. I posted about influencer scams, calling out vague practices that matched Lauren's without naming her. I shared it in local groups, and it got traction. People started tagging her in comments, asking if it was about her. She denied it, but the damage was done. Then came the final play. I'd kept a record of every lie she told me, texts, emails, even the group project excuse. I compiled them into a PDF, nothing illegal, just embarrassing. Her promises to pay me back, her flirty messages while she was trashing me, her lies about the family emergency. I sent it to her new boss at a marketing agency she just started working for, along with a note, thought you should know who you're hiring. I didn't sign it. A week later, she was fired. I heard through Tyler that she'd moved back to her parents' place in Salem. Her online presence went dark. I'd won. But then why did I feel so empty? I was about to find out she wasn't done fighting back. I thought I'd feel free. After 2.5 years, Lauren was down jobless, humiliated, her perfect life in tatters. I dismantled her world, piece by piece, just like I'd planned. But sitting in my apartment, staring at my laptop, I felt hollow. Revenge was supposed to be sweet, right? Instead, it was like I'd been carrying a weight all this time, and dropping it didn't make me lighter. Then she came for me. I got an email from Lauren, no subject line, just a wall of text. She laid it all out, how she traced the fake accounts, how she'd talked to Tyler and pieced together my moves. She called me pathetic, obsessed, a coward hiding behind anonymity. But the kicker was the end. You think you ruined me, Ethan? I'm still here. You're the one who's lost. I read it over and over, my hands shaking. She was right about one thing, I'd lost something. Time, maybe. Or the part of me that used to believe in second chances. I didn't reply, but I stopped everything. No more fake accounts, no more plans. I deleted the blog, wiped my tracks. I started questioning myself. Had she deserved all this? Her lies, her betrayal, they were real, but had I gone too far? I saw a therapist, started unpacking it. She said I was grieving not just for what Lauren did, but for who I'd been before this consumed me. A few months later, I ran into Lauren at a grocery store. She looked tired, her hair in a messy bun, no trace of the polished influencer. I braced for a fight, but she just looked at me, her eyes hard but not angry. "We're done, Ethan," she said, and walked away. That was it. No showdown, no closure. Just, nothing. I'm still processing it. I got my revenge, but it didn't fix what she broke. It didn't make me whole. I'm sharing this because I need to let it go, to warn anyone else thinking revenge is the answer. It's not. It's a trap you set for yourself. I'm trying to move on, but sometimes, late at night, I wonder if she's out there, plotting her own comeback. And if she is, I don't know if I'm ready for it.